Welcome guys to another episode of Boom Arena. Today we're gonna be having a longer video because it is a end of the season, and since it's the end of the season I kinda want to push a bit, even though I pretty much have the second spot locked and I'm not absolutely at all in the competition for the first place. I feel like some push at the end of the season will do a favor for this game to come, and yeah, we're gonna be playing against human in this first game, which is pretty surprising since all we know about Boom Arena is that it is played only by AI, so seeing a human must be very surprising. And I'm gonna be getting a super ape onto the tower very early on, getting 2 shots. That's obviously very cool, and from this point forward we'll have to conclude the game somehow. And yeah, we're gonna be playing Fire Tiny here, maybe some skeletons. Usually against Splemetery you don't want to attack, you want to rather defend and make opponent to come into you, but with this variant with Mortar it is actually very fine to attack, and actually it's only way to actually defend, because as you probably know, the best defense is the offense. So we're gonna just go for the super ape, force him to spend mana, and if he doesn't, we're gonna get very healthy 2 hits on the tower. That's very cool. I'm gonna play Gunner here because I'm pretty sure he's planning on going with the Cemetery, and since we forced the poison instead of Cemetery, we have absolutely a free run to just go for the Mortar. And yeah, he's gonna stop the Mortar, but it's absolutely fine for us because we actually don't mind getting stopped. We can actually push this more forward, but it's not too bad if we get stopped. I'm gonna play Rolling Steel here just for damage. And yeah, I'm gonna play Swordman here. He's gonna actually go in, which is not gonna lie, kinda bad. I didn't expect him to go in, so we're gonna just get in a bit of trouble because this Cemetery will actually deal a lot of damage. I didn't expect that much to come. I should have played Rolling Steel, but yeah. Sometimes miscalculations happen. I'm gonna have to play Swordman here and a Gunner here so he cannot poison our tower. And we're gonna get a double lane pressure, and since he played the dragon on this side, we're gonna go with the super ape on the opposite one. And very important thing, I know I'm saying this phrase very often, but very important thing against decks like Splemetery is gonna be keeping the damage low on both towers, since the Cemetery is the deck that wants to get us in that scenario where we have to go into one lane, but yeah, we're not playing that game. We're gonna be just going for the 2 lanes at the same time, and hopefully we'll just break this nerd apart. I'm gonna play EQ here. That's gonna be very risky EQ, and I'm very wondering why didn't he play the Cemetery. It's obviously the best move in this position, but yeah, I'm pretty also low on mana, so I'll have to be a bit careful about that. He's gonna be playing poison here, which is, I think, the best move in the position. I'm gonna be forcing a Phone Hut, and okay, I'm not gonna be actually able to... Oh my god, that jumped! We're gonna be taking the game. Wow, this Fire Tiny shouldn't have jumped. That was very unfortunate for him, and I probably should have lost because I allowed this poison. Wow. Alright. So as you can see, this matchup can get very scary very quickly, and we just grabbed this victory. I absolutely don't mind it. Yeah. We're gonna be many games to go in this video. Like I've said, I want to push some cups, probably to 4200 medals, but we're gonna see. First game looks very decent. And we're gonna be playing against a dude that kindly suggests his, I was about to say gender, his carnation, by playing Dark Knight and Bone Blasters at the bridge. Not big worries, only one of them connects, so we are not we're not that worried. We're gonna be playing Super Ape, and I think he's gonna be playing... Okay, he's gonna be playing Shield Skeletons. I expected Skeleton Horde because that's the card that you usually see from people that have 0 medals for an inexplicable reason. I'm gonna be playing Skeletons here to absorb that helicopter, even playing a gunner because it was on Madness. It would have probably gotten 2 or 3 hits. I've never tested it before, so it could have gotten a bit scary. So I'm gonna be playing Swordman here, hope for 2 towers to connect. Okay, both towers won't connect, but one will serve enough for now. Mortar will distract the Dark Knight and will get some damage on the tower, and that's a best value pretty much you can get of the Mortar. And yeah, he's gonna be quitting very quickly, so I'm gonna just grab this game real quick and jump to the next one. Now we're gonna be against user with some ID number, which, like I always say, I'm not gonna pronounce it, but it's close to 300,000. That's how you pronounce it. And yeah, that means that Boom Arena has 300,000 users, which is pretty huge, if I may say. Obviously you want to see this number get bigger, but like, what can you expect from this game? I absolutely didn't expect it to pop off like that, but yeah. It has been recently on decline because of dudes like him that play 2.6 Super Ape and certainly don't attract new users. I'm gonna just play Earthquake. He's gonna be playing Flying Bomb, which is interesting alternative to Cannon. Certainly not the best one, as he gets his tower absolutely ravaged to 1k HP, and right now I'm gonna just play Mortar here with a Swordman. Very basic stuff and very safe stuff because, well, it's not the best way to defend. At least I'm 100% sure that he's not breaking through, and that's the pretty only thing that I need right now because I'm in a damage lead. So he has to play some mana and figure stuff out. I pretty much have to just sit back and make no mistakes about my upcoming plays, and that's pretty much what happens. I'm playing Super Ape here, and he's gonna be playing this time Cannon, and since I was playing Prediction last time, I might as well do it. This time he misses Rolling Steel. I think the better way for him to punish my greedy Earthquake would have been to counter-attack with Super Ape. Either way, because he was losing this tower no matter what, so he might have as well gotten some damage back. He isn't doing that. His decision is to go with a Explorer, and unfortunately it's not gonna matter too much for me because, well, with Explorer or not, I'm gonna be absolutely able to stop his Super Ape with just Mortar and some DPS unit like Swordman. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna soon find out whether or not he's gonna change something in his offense. By the looks of it, the answer will be no, which is very unfortunate. I'm gonna right now get a nice skeleton surround on his gunner. I'm gonna get a kill here because, well, obviously it was enough damage to knock her out, and it's gonna be the game against Super Ape 2.6. Certainly not the best deck, but I think it's not the worst either. You will get matchup against Viking type of decks, so you might as well try it out. But yeah, if it comes to Super Ape, I prefer this variation with Mortar. It's been a while since I've recorded a longer video, so I'm gonna be just focusing mostly on playing, and yeah, this dude is going for the phone cake, which is decent play, I would say. Obviously this phone horde should be played way earlier to stop my Mortar. Instead it gets, I think, way too many shots by the looks of it. Super Ape already bringing the tower to 1000, which, well, it's obviously very good for me, and obviously not decent for him. So I'm gonna just go for a Mortar since he used that Blitz. If he didn't use that Blitz, I was wondering what is the best play, but since he used the Blitz, I think that was the best play. And right now, I'm gonna just counter this phone cake like this with a far time. It pretty much counters any placement of a phone cake near your tower, so you might as well. Okay, I got a bit lag here, but yeah, it's not like game-ending lag, so I'm not gonna complain. Better now than like in some tense situations. So this EQ could have obviously been played faster by me, but yeah, it sometimes happens. You cannot do anything about it. Unless you're like a specialist of wireless connection, then you might want to just optimize your internet to the limits, but I ain't doing that. I'm just playing video games, and I think I'm doing that pretty well since you're watching this right now. And right now I'll have to just defend two big things at the same time. I'm gonna play this against Funkak, this against the Dark Knight, and I'm gonna just allow for the Robopups to do some damage. There's no harm in doing so, and right now he's gonna get absolutely nothing out of this attack. That's very underwhelming for him, because I bet he spent a lot of mana and attention to just get this attack rolling, and I just defended it flawlessly. So yeah, that must be pretty demoralizing, but you see, that's the charm of zero-sum game. If you want to win, you don't have to be just good, you have to be better than your opponent, and this dude absolutely does not have what it takes to be better than me right now, because I absolutely know how to play against him, and I think he didn't figure out the best way to play against me, so that's gonna mean that I'm gonna win, and yeah. That's gonna be the GG. Now we're gonna be up against Neo, who's gonna not have 1000 medals, which is pretty weird for him, as usually he gets 1000 medals by the end of the season. He's gonna be playing some Super Ape Circle by the looks of it, because nowadays no one pretty much plays balloons, so yeah. There's nothing else to expect from that. I'm gonna actually just wait for him. I'm gonna play Rolling Steel now to fully counter a Gunner. Very important timing, which you can use for pretty much any situation. It also works for a Bomber Bomberman. Now I see Bomber, I see Bomber. I obviously meant a Bomberman, and it looks like Nil won't be playing Super Ape 2.6, so yeah. Actually, I'm gonna be hoping for some interesting game, because this is a Brood deck I haven't seen, period, and that's why he has a chance to surprise me. But yeah, first defense will be very clean, and unfortunately he just gives away the fact that he's playing Brute, and since I know that, I'll be more cautious with my mana spending. I won't be able to just get aggressive as I usually do against like cycle decks, so that was a good find for me. I'm gonna play Swordman, a safer of these two. I could have played a Skeletons, but yeah, I'm gonna just play Skeletons here to protect my Gunner, and I think I'm gonna just go with this Gunner, because frankly, I don't see the reason why not to. So let's go. He's gonna be playing Skeletons, he's gonna play Cannon. That was honestly very well defended by him, but at the same time he spent a lot of mana, so we may as well call this overcommitment, unless my Rolling Steel won't connect, so yeah. That's gonna be pretty embarrassing, but aside from that, we're doing pretty fine. He's gonna be playing a Brute against this Mortar, which is fair play, I guess. We're gonna be playing Super Ape once this Gunner pisses off, and that's gonna be pretty much the target. I'm gonna play Mortar, not to kite the Brute, but to kite the Ghost, because, well, Ghost is one of a tricky bastard that can pretty much mess up your best games, so you have to just watch for it. I'm gonna get actually two Gunners rolling on this side, so it would be a dream scenario if he puts a Brute here. Like I've said, it's gonna disappear in a matter of seconds, and there we go. There's no Brute anymore. He probably thought that it's gonna be a very hold for him, so I think that was a trade that he thought to himself, it's very beneficial for me, but at the end, I'm not gonna be attacked anytime soon, and I once again forgot about this interaction that Gunner doesn't die to 2 Gunner shots plus rolling steel. It needs one more thing to kill her, and it was due to the fact that the Gunner got nerfed pretty a long time ago, but still I didn't get used to this interaction, so yeah, that's gonna suck, but just a tiny bit. It's not too big of a deal. I'm gonna get an EQ going here. This ghost will be dead. Obviously I won't get any damage because Neil is kinda good at video game and knows what he's doing. I'm gonna play skeletons here because there's no way he's predicting against me at this stage of the game. I'm gonna play another Super Ape. Support with EQ, he actually uses the anti-EQ placement first time in this game, and that's gonna absolutely pay the dividend because I'm not gonna get a value against it. I'm gonna play another Super Ape, and yeah, that's gonna be the official end of the game. We get a hit for just a good measure, and yeah, that's gonna be the way how to beat a good player with slightly offbeat deck, because as far as I know, no one else plays this, and yeah, that made up for a pretty interesting game right here. We're gonna be going against 6-star player, which is, I believe, second time we've met him today. I was about to say, if I see correctly, he has copied my deck and is gonna be playing a mirror matchup against me, but yeah, it's not the case. He also plays 2 Cyclones, which pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, cost him alive, because yeah, there's absolutely no way he's stopping that mortar, and by the time he reacts to that mortar with anything, okay, I don't think he's reacting to that mortar anymore, so I'm gonna just play Swordman and Skeletons on the opposite side to wreck his tower, and yeah, sooner or later he will resign. He's gonna actually try to defend for whatever reason. Yeah, with that much of a deficit after the early game, I don't think he's ever coming back, because I can just play Mortar and absolutely kill him. I probably should have just went for a Viking tower, because what I'm doing right now may be considered a cyberbullying, like slowly taking away one's soul just for the pleasure of a unit. Well, yeah, I'm gonna just try to finish him off as soon as possible, get a gunner in the pocket, finish off the tower, and after that I'm gonna be grabbing the king tower. Viking tower, that is. Alright. Right now we're gonna be against Magic Man with 0 medals as well, so I don't think this game will be truly magical. But if anyone, he is the man to prove me wrong, so I'm gonna be playing Skeletons to defend against the Thief. And I'm gonna actually play Mortar against this Bomb Girl, because if he doesn't do anything, this Mortar will wreck her. And I'm gonna be having a 4 mana sitting on the board, ready to defend anything that comes my way. That's gonna be very convenient for me, as he plays Viking, and this Viking will actually get some shots in. This Mortar will get some shots in against Viking, which will be very convenient, just making my defense a little bit easier. I don't think it was worth 4 mana, but I've decided to play this Mortar against Bomb Girl, so any additional value will be just extra. I'm not gonna commit to that, because I still have in back of my mind that it might be like some Dark Knight shenanigans deck, so yeah, I'm not gonna go all in just yet until I get a confirmation that his deck isn't too weird, and if he's gonna have like one of these cards that kinda scale asymmetrically, which Dark Knight definitely is, I'm gonna just adjust my gameplay accordingly. I'm gonna get an Earthquake here to damage a Mother Skeleton and kill her spawns, which are already dead, but we ain't talking about that in this episode. We're gonna be mainly talking about gameplay, and I'm gonna be trying to get as much value of my cards like this. I would love not to play Gunner, but it was kinda on hand, and yeah. I had to cycle something, so I figured that Gunner might not be that bad of a choice. It actually baited out a Viking, which will get more value than I anticipated prior, but yeah. I don't think it's too bad. There's the Dark Knight that I kinda predicted from his deck structure. You can kinda predict these things once you get some games in, because at the end of the day people are like playing around some concepts, and many of them are very similar. I'm gonna actually get a godlike swordman here, blocking a Viking, blocking a thief, like absolutely 500 times value, and it's not like one of these that are put in a shop offer. It was actually 500 times value, which absolutely carried the game. I would love to get a kill on this Mother Skeleton, but I don't think it will be necessary. GG, well played. Magic Man, you gotta train more to defeat me. And this game will be against Rolla Joint, so another player that I expect to get 1000 medals till the end of the season, who by the first looks of it will be playing some Super Ape Cycle deck. I'm not gonna call 2.6 just yet, because okay, now it's 2.6. If you show a Explore, even though your minor cards may differ, it's pretty much 2.6 and you cannot convince me otherwise. Also, he's gonna get very low on mana. I'm gonna okay, wait a second. Okay, that was just atrocious micro out of me. You see, even I make mistakes sometimes, so maybe not the worst to show them right here on this video. Hopefully it won't happen against better enemies, and yeah, I'm gonna just play Mortar defensively. He's gonna be pre-playing Rolling Steel to get some value. Unfortunately for him, Mortar will do just fine for me, and the Swordman I've planted in the very back will serve as a good meat shield for my Super Ape, which will come right now. Oh, and that was very smart Explorer, just blocking my Swordman from tanking. I think he's gonna still receive a hit, which is very nice for me, and he still has to address that Swordman, which is, well, the reason why it was good play. I'm gonna cycle a Fire Tiny just to get to a Swordman, which will help against the Super Ape because I'll have to play Mortar. So that was a very well constructed deck out of him. He's gonna get a lot of value here. He's gonna even force a response out of me here, but I kinda know how to micro, so this Super Ape didn't even get a hit, and the way it works is that if a target escapes the range of the attacking card, it will receive no damage. So that was a very cool piece that I could have shown to you, and yeah. This Super Ape unfortunately got stopped by a cannon, but I don't think he has cannon now. I'm gonna just play Super Ape here. I'm gonna get a EQ going, predict his late cannon, and I'm gonna get a hit, which is fabulous. I'm gonna now play a Gunner, I'm gonna play a Fire Tiny. I'm gonna play a Rolling Steel to stop this Super Ape from hitting the tower, but unfortunately it hit it. Well, that sucks, but that also happens. I'm gonna play EQ here, get rid of this cannon. Right now I'm gonna just try to play solid, because at the end of the day my cycle is cheaper, so I'm gonna be able to cycle more Super Apes. He should be counter-attacking now, but by the looks of it he's gonna be defending, which is absolutely not something he wants to do. He's gonna get some room to breathe, but not a lot, and right now I can just play a Gunner here, getting rid of his Super Ape. I'm gonna now play Skeletons, and I'm gonna wait for a 10 mana. Okay, I'm not gonna wait for the 10 mana because he's gonna be playing Super Ape. I'll have to play this late. I'm gonna play EQ now, just to get some damage and get into his face. Very cool stuff. I'm gonna get one more shot, and right now I think the game is very scary for both me and him. I'm gonna pre-play a Skeletons, just in case. I'm gonna pre-play Gunner, and right now he has to attack me because he's in damage deficit, so I'm gonna just... Okay, he's playing this ancient strategy of pushing a super A, but unfortunately it's not gonna work out for him because a gunner doesn't go in front. Unfortunately, this physics hasn't been implemented the way it's supposed to, so yeah, he's not gonna get this trade he was looking for. I know what play he wanted to try to pull, but yeah, it doesn't work. I think he played very well, but banking your being behind for the entirety of the game just to pull this trick that doesn't work, yeah, sometimes you just get unlucky with that. Let's jump to the next one. And right now we're gonna get a match against Porsche Z, so he's gonna obviously drop a nice play because he's a cultured man, and I think we're gonna get a very nice mirror matchup because recently he very likes playing this deck as well, which obviously I like to play because I'm playing it right now. He's gonna get a Fire Tiny connection, which is not the biggest of the deals, but at the same time I'd love to not get this connection to the face. So I'm gonna just go in, and he's not gonna be happy about this rolling steal, which pushed my Super 8 ever so slightly out of the range of the Mortar. And unfortunately anti-EQ pull wasn't available, so I kinda capitalized on him being very low on mana and absolutely got the better end of this trade. I'm gonna pre-play Mortar because yeah, I was expecting that he's gonna go in instantly, and this Mortar will be absolutely enough to clean this Super Ape up. Swordman will get some very wild maneuvers at the time, so that's gonna be fun. And right now I'm gonna just go for the Super Ape, and yeah, he's gonna be playing Mortar once again, which won't be working out for him because yeah, these Mortars are just bad out of him in this game. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, those are just bad Mortars. He should have known where it is possible to pull the Mortar and where not, and he's just not getting the chase he was looking for because, yeah, the Mortars weren't just good for him. He missed the pull like third time in this game. I feel like it may have been a stress factor, which obviously plays a bit of a role in this game. Also, I've just noticed that had it not been a first Fire Tiny, I would have had a perfect health on towers, and right now I'm gonna receive a hit, but I'm not gonna even receive a hit. Wow, that's very unlucky for him. Wow, he even misses his EQ, which is, well, very bad. I'm gonna get some Swordman here just to protect the gunner, and I'm gonna go for the attack because why not? He misses another Mortar. Wow, that's just not his day to be playing this game. Like, usually games against Porsche are very close, but it's not the case today. I'm absolutely obliterating this man because he's just not on point with his Mortar. He's gonna get a nice shot though, so yeah. I mean, he's out of this game, but he still can prove something, so... Also, the thing I've noticed that he's playing an Explorer, which I don't think is the best choice. Also, I shouldn't be prolonging this game. I'm gonna just play some spells and close this game as soon as possible. I'm gonna get an EQ, I'm gonna get Fire Time and Rolling Steel, and yeah, that's gonna be GG. So, that's a mirror matchup, but I'm having a Swordman, which I think, even though it costs 1 mana more, it gets way more value than Explorer in this matchup, and yeah, I don't think there are actually any good Explorer decks except 2.6 where it actually works. But if you're playing Mortar, like, if you're playing Mortar instead of Cannon, you need that DPS factor because, well, you don't have Cannon, which is your DPS card, so you need a Swordman which deals damage. So if you're... it's kind of synergy thing. The Cannon synergizes better with Explorer, but the Mortar synergizes better with a... wait, what am I saying? Cannon synergizes with Explorer and Mortar synergizes with Swordman, if you know what I mean. Even though the cycle differences are huge, I usually like the second variant more because it just brings more value and messes up the opponent's cycle even more. So that was a little rant what I think about like current Super Ape meta. I'm not gonna prolong this much longer. Yeah, let's jump to the next game. And we're gonna get a game against Magic Man. So I don't remember how many medals he had last time we've met, but now he has 10, so he must have won his last game, and yeah, that's pretty much only thing I want to say. The Super Ape would have gotten a hit after a Mortar. That's a very important interaction. This Super Ape is pretty much on 1 HP, so anything else you're gonna play after that will absolutely shred the Super Ape, unless your opponent uses like crowd modifiers, which is like a fancy word for spells. I'm gonna play Mortar here. He's gonna get a very good value against this Mortar, but like, I don't really mind it because at the same time I'm gonna get a better trade against this Gunner, and I'm already in a good spot. Next Super Ape will have to be defended the alternative way, so I won't be having a Mortar to defend that. So I think I'm gonna just counterplay with a Super Ape, force out something, and yeah. He's not gonna go for attack right here, so I'm gonna be having enough time to cycle to my Mortar. So even though it was a offensive Super Ape, it kinda served a defensive purpose because I had no intention of defending it, and that's why it kinda was a defensive Super Ape, because even though it went for the tower with the intention of dealing some damage, I actually intended to just cycle with it and force my opponent to play the cards he didn't want to play. And right now Magic Man is actually in trouble because my Gunner is just getting too much value for his liking. He didn't get rid of her by any means, nor contested, so yeah. That's gonna be a tower, and unfortunately Magic Man will have to find a way to come back into this game. I'm gonna actually play a Rolling Steel. I don't think it's a bad trade because I'm taking the hit, but even if I were to play it perfectly, I don't think it was a best trade because he could have just played a Super Ape, and if that was the case, I think that the position would be fine for him because he could have just played a his Super Ape would have gotten at least one hit, and yeah, while it's not a priority for me to like prevent all the Super Ape hits because like the game isn't even close, I think it would have been a good practice to try to think about the game being always close just for the sake of practice, so when the game actually gets close, you will know what to do exactly. And yeah, that's gonna be the good game, well played, and we're gonna go for the next one. And now our next opponent will be AZ Gani, who by the looks of it has won four of his four first games and then lost to someone from a high of the leaderboards. That happens. Obviously, we would love to have better matchmaking. I've ranted about this previously. I'm gonna say it again. I think the player base is big enough so the medal based matchmaking can be implemented. Obviously, it would have been annoying. It will be annoying for a better players because finding the game at the top will probably happen with like forever of a delay, but like I think for the overall health of the game that would have been a very good change, because even though it's not profitable and that's not something you want to implement as a developer, it kind of makes the players that are already attracted to your game stay in it for longer. So I think even though it doesn't attract new players and it's not like the usual target of updates, it will absolutely improve the quality of the game, and you kind of have to understand that if you are attracting new players, you kind of want them to stay eventually, because if you only rely on your game being new and flashy and attracting new players, it's gonna be very hard to maintain it on the long run. for the fact that eventually you will run out of the people that will get interested in your game, and then it's gonna be very difficult for you to just keep on getting anything out of your game. I'm gonna actually sack one of these footmen. Unfortunately, my opponent will be playing a 3 gunners deck, which I don't think is the hardest thing in the world for me to fight, but it's definitely not the easiest one. I'm gonna get an EQ in, so my mortar can lock onto the tower. Right now it's gonna be locked, and yeah, that's gonna be absolutely perfect. I'm gonna play Rolling Steel here, getting rid of the skeletons. I'm gonna actually get a Super Ape onto the tower, which will be very convenient, and it's gonna put us in a damage lead, which, well, I'm not striving for it right now, but eventually it's nice to have a damage lead because that's the ultimate goal of the video game. And yeah, I'm gonna just try to delete these 3 gunners right now. I'm gonna delete the cannon wheel instead because, well, when life gives you lemons, you gotta make the lemonade, and when life gives you a dead cannon wheel, you gotta take the dead cannon wheel, and I absolutely take it. I'm gonna actually play an EQ against this one, even though I don't think it's the best play on the board. I'm not sure what I would have played if that wasn't this. Okay, that cannon wheel shouldn't lock, so that's gonna be a very, I won't say fortunate, but very nice lock for him. And yeah, now I have to very focus because now I'm in a damage deficit, and it is certainly something I will have to be mindful of. Before the game ends, I'm gonna be playing Swordman here, Gunner here. He's gonna be actually opting to just run my position with a cannon wheel, which, don't get me wrong, is a strategy, but right now he places this footman hut incorrectly, and that's gonna open the doors for a Super 8. That's gonna be hit, that's gonna be GG's. He played very well. I've made a crap ton of mistakes, which kinda made this game way closer, but yeah, it sometimes goes like that, and it proves you that even if you're playing against a good player, you shouldn't resign, because they may have just throw the game out of nowhere and it will happen. So yeah, let's jump to the next game. And we're gonna get a Lord of Pain, who's gonna be without G and without Force, so I may assume that it is his second account. I might check the leaderboards after this game, because I think he's actually having right now 2 accounts in top 50 leaderboards. He's gonna certainly have a piercing archer on my tower, which, well, by the looks of it, isn't the best continuation for me. And yeah, I'm gonna get a very healthy Super Ape on the tower, which will be actually very nice. I'm gonna try to get a twins here. I'm gonna play Swordman for this devil, I was about to say, but it absolutely wasn't against this devil. This devil still got a hit, and I think this Swordman should be enough to counter this guys now. Okay, this is gonna be barely not enough. I will have to add this Fire Tiny. Well, as always, Lord of Pain not in a very good mood. He's gonna throw some banter at me just to make me more distracted. I'm gonna go for Super Ape. He's gonna be actually in time with Viking, very well timed Viking, to counter my Super Ape, and right now I'm in a bit of a pickle right here. I'm gonna play a Gar against this. I think he's gonna notice that I'm gonna be playing skeletons, but he's not. I'm gonna actually have to sack the piercing archer on the opposite side. That wasn't mandatory really, but I think it was the more safe of a play, because he could have added a pressure at pretty much any time. And yeah, I'm gonna get a little lock of the mortar. Well, it wasn't the best one, but at the same time it wasn't the worst one, and that's what matters at the end of the day. I'm gonna get a mortar lock on right now, which will grant me another piece of damage. This footman will get a hit. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I'm gonna play some Super Ape, and he's gonna be on time with Viking again, also absorbing my Fire Tiny, which will be absolutely fabulous for him. Right now I'm awaiting Piercing Archer, and there it is. I'm gonna be playing some of these. Okay, that's gonna be a very interesting situation for me, because I'll have to play a Swordman last second, and yeah, that's a scary situation right here, because he got everything he wanted from this position. Also, I'm not sure how Piercing Archer got a hit from there, but yeah, that's not a topic for now. I'm gonna try to stop this ghost from absolutely ravaging my mortar. I'm gonna play some more safe plays right now, and I'm gonna go just for the offense, because usually in this matchup, when your opponent plays a spell, it's the moment when you should go, and I definitely did. So that was nice. I'm gonna go for Swordman here. He's gonna call me a beginner once again, which I don't think is true at all, because I'm pretty advanced at this game, you know? It doesn't hurt my feelings, but at the same time it's absolutely useless, and right now it's just a matter of spell cycling my opponent, so I might just begin it right now, getting an EQ ready, getting a rolling steel, and right now he just have to not break me, and if it happens, I'm gonna be absolutely pink chilling. I'm gonna be playing Mortar right here, and yeah, I'll just have to hold this one and I'm gonna be good to go. This is gonna be very valuable rolling steel. I'm gonna try to prevent these devils from connecting. I'm gonna get an EQ last second. It won't get a damage, and indeed this time he can kinda spam lucky, because I got lucky at the end. 32 HP, that was a very close game, but we managed to persevere. Let's jump to the next. GG. And right now we're gonna be against Aksiniakar, at least using a Latin alphabet, because yeah, he has some variations of these letters which I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing correctly, but yeah, that's the way of living when you don't study every single language you come across. Also, this Swordman doesn't tank for Super Ape, so that's gonna suck a bit for me. Well, it happens, not gonna complain. He's gonna be playing machine guns, so I'm gonna just get back to the Swordman, get as much value as it's possible. And yeah, this machine gun will run on my Swordman, so I'm gonna just add a rolling steel. It is actually a good force of habit to counter machine gun with troops and not spells, because like spells will be available for you anytime, but if you can get away with troops, you will be better off, like most of the time. Unless your opponent very heavily fortifies his machine gun, then you go for the spells, because well, he kinda gave you the value, so why don't take it? I'm gonna play Super Ape here. He's gonna play archers, and I think that's gonna be, yeah, I was about to say it's gonna be a hit, and it was. Nothing to say more. I'm gonna play EQ and a rolling steel, because like I've said, if your opponent gives you value, you are definitely entitled to take it, and I did. So that's gonna be another nice defense against machine gun. I'm interested why isn't he playing his cannon or his phone hat. Those are like two most popular responses to a Super Ape, and yet he's playing like troops. Yeah, there's the cannon. Very solid response. I'm not gonna even add EQ, because well, it's gonna be more helpful at defending machine guns, so I might as well just save it for them. I'm gonna play Swordman in here, and I think it's already a good time for me to play Ape Mortar, and yeah, I'm gonna just go for the Earthquake just to weaken his machine gun, and Ape Mortar will get very juicy connections right here just to piss him off a little more. He's gonna go for a Flying Bomb, which I don't think is the best call, but at the same time I don't see any other good call for him. I'm gonna get a nice EQ and almost get a Super Ape connection, so this game is looking more and more like it's absolutely lost for him, and I'm gonna just make sure that it stays that way. I'm gonna get some skeletons here. Unfortunately, my Swordman turns. I wanted to for it to go on the opposite side, and the reason is that Um, there against machine gun, you pretty much want to identify two sides. Like there's a side that can go into machine gun and out of machine gun. So usually, if you're engaging against machine gun, you want to put every single troop on the lane against machine gun, except for the tank that wants to go outside of the machine gun. So the troops that are put as a support to machine gun won't be helping at killing it. So yeah, that's a bit of strategy for you. No need to thank me, you're watching my videos anyway to learn that stuff or to assure that you understand the matchups correctly. I'm gonna get absolutely everything from that, and unfortunately that's gonna be a tower down for him. Like I've said, it was a good matchup for him, he put up a good fight, but it wasn't enough. GG, well played. I'm gonna actually do 2 more games in this video and I'm gonna wrap it up. So yeah, let's jump to it right now. And the next game will be against Leo153, which I don't know what's the hidden meaning behind this, but I know that his hidden cards aren't Bomb Tower and Mother Devil, which as a general rule of thumb, I wouldn't advise to put these two in one deck, because usually if you're playing a Mother Devil, you kinda want to play troops that kinda support her for staying alive, and Bomb Tower ain't one of them. I'm gonna actually get the biggest mortar shot of my career and now get a small lock. Obviously helicopter will gladly take care of it, so it's not gonna be like a game ending lock, but at the same time, lock is a lock. It's always some damage and you have to respect that. At the same time, I'm gonna play Super Ape in the back. I believe he played a Dark Knight at 0, so he didn't have any mana to defend that. And yeah, I'm gonna actually play Swordman here, Mortar here. I couldn't kite Super Ape further because I was kinda late with this Mortar, so I'm gonna have to defend it traditionally. And I'm getting another hit. That's what I'm talking. Like, with normal buildings like Bomb Tower and Cannon, usually you will be tied to like this card get only value while defending. So if you're in a pickle, these cards will save your ass a couple of times. But yeah, other times I really like to play with Mortar for the reason that it kinda serves multiple roles. And right now, my opponent will be playing a Von Horde, which definitely means that he doesn't have a mana for a Super Ape. And even if he did, I already have a Mortar, so that's gonna be a very good situation for me. I'm gonna be playing Far Tiny and a Mortar, and he's gonna get a nice prediction. He kinda just killed my Swordman. It doesn't really matter. My Mortar will get a hit on, and that's absolutely nice stuff. I'm gonna get an EQ anyway, because I don't think this Super Ape is getting a hit, and there we go. It isn't. It was kinda anticipated. I'm gonna play right now Gunner and Swordman against the Dark Knight because it's a very solid combo that pretty much cannot be countered unless you have Lightning. And to be completely clear, no one runs Lightning in this meta, so that was a very safe play. I'm gonna actually get EQ here, expecting a Bomb Tower because like Von Horde wasn't it. Absolutely not it. I'm gonna just cycle Gunner. Better safe than sorry. He calls me lucky for the whatever reason. I don't think this win involved any amount of luck, but if he says so, well, I might have been the luckiest Super Ape player of all time. Yeah, that's gonna be the game against Dark Knight with Super Ape, and we're gonna jump to the last game of the video. And the last game will be against Aksiniakar once again. I don't remember what he was playing, but he is playing Blitz, so he might as well just switch his deck, you never know. I'm gonna be playing Gunner against these twins, and from what I'm seeing, he's playing a Viking BS spam, so it's absolutely good matchup for us because we're gonna be... usually when you're playing a Super Ape, you should be having a good time against Viking. I'm gonna just be playing Super Ape because, like I've said before, if they are playing spell against you, you should be absolutely having a good time against against their defense, and you should play Super Ape as fast as possible. So yeah, that's a good rule of thumb to actually keep in mind, because many decks kinda have that dynamic that you actually just keep track of one card, and once it's getting played, you actually want to counterplay as soon as possible. For instance, if you're playing Cemetery, it's not always true, but it is very nice to like recognize what's the best opponent's counter to your Cemetery, and once it's out of cycle, you should be playing Cemetery, well, at the bridge. Tank at the bridge, Cemetery on the tower, and just use this opportunity, because for instance, let's say your opponent plays a Necromancer, and Necromancer, as you probably know, is a very good, it's like the best response in the game against Cemetery. So once you render it out of cycle, it's gonna be a very good time for you to just go and attack. So like I've said, it's not usually the case. There are many famous games of like a good players when this tip was like applied in real life situation and it didn't work out because of the other factors. But it's actually very nice to have some general rules of thumb, so you can at least frame your gameplay in approximation and quickly evaluate whether you're making good decisions or not. Actually, my phone will need charging, so that's gonna be a bit of a bummer that it appeared in a video, but at the same time, I don't really mind. I'm not gonna even try to blur it. I'm gonna get a Swordman and Skeletons against these twins. I'm gonna get a Rolling Steel against his potential Piercing Archer, but it looks like he's not gonna be playing Piercing Archer, so this Rolling Steel was a kind of a waste. It doesn't matter though, I kinda have this game locked. I'm gonna get an EQ, and that's gonna be the game, set, and match. We've played some video games. If I count correctly, it was like 15 games, and today I've got away with every single win on the boards, and that's very nice. I'm gonna push to 4200 at the very least, maybe more. I certainly won't be able to get number one spot on leaderboards, because in order to do that, I would have to grind from now on like non-stop, and that's not happening. So yeah, that's gonna be a wrap up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the Super Ape gameplay kind of video. Many games to be analyzed, to be watched, to be enjoyed. However you like to watch my videos, I absolutely don't mind if you just watch my videos for the commentary, or to just have fun and watch some Boom Arena gameplay. Yeah. If you enjoyed it and aren't subscribed, I highly encourage you to do so, because I upload on a daily basis and you definitely don't want to miss out this, I would say, high quality gameplay. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty much the end of the season for me, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next season of Boom Arena. Take care.